Of this?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
It's pretty short.
yeah, like 20 minutes. Because you gotta add the commercial breaks.
Well, yeah.
The thing I love about this show is like most episodes, if not all of them, are two-parters. Like I feel like the writers of this show were like, we're writing hour-long episodes, like 40-minute episodes.
It can't be condensed into the 20-minute block that we're given.
Like they were like, we're gonna do 40-minute episodes, and then Cartoon Network or whatever was like, split them in two. The first episode, or it's split into 3 parts. Because it's so epic.
That's cool, because you don't get that a lot with older cartoons.
I know.
It's usually like Scooby-Doo, you know, they solve the mystery
and
in
at the
one
end
episode.
of the day, they go on to the next episode.
Yeah.
Different story. You don't know when the episodes take place.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's cool that it's got some meat to it.
I think it's interesting that Hawkwoman is on the team in this show. Even though you haven't seen her yet show up.
Well, we've only seen
the first episode.
Well, I mean, we've seen 4 heroes. Oh, I guess we saw Wonder Woman too. So we did see everyone but Hawkgirl, right?
And Green Lantern.
And Green Lantern, yeah.
Yeah, Flash showed up for like 1 second.
To do
just
TV interview while the world was being destroyed.
And then Martian Manhunter at the end. I think Hawkwoman might be my favorite character in the show.
Really?
They do some really interesting stuff with her. Her and Green Lantern, who is Jon Stewart, not Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
They have like a little relationship. I like it. It's good. It's interesting.
Is she... I don't know a whole lot about Hawkgirl or Hawkwoman or whatever.
Yeah.
Is she like immortal?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
So, okay.
But she's like old, right?
Yeah, so, okay, Hawkman and Hawkwoman are both from like Egyptian times. But it's like resurrection. So they're not like immortal. Like they will die, but then be like reincarnated in like another body. Yeah.
Like Hancock. I think I said that last time you mentioned this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day we'll talk about the Justice Society, which they're a part of. Hawkman's actually in this book that we're gonna do.
You know, I hate the Justice Society. It's so lame and stupid.
Why?
Isn't that what you said?
No. I love the Justice Society.
Oh, which one didn't you like?
Oh, the Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, the Legion of Superheroes.
You see,
I'm sorry, there's so many teams.
Yeah, the Justice Society's from the past, and the Legion is from the future.
Oh, yeah, the Justice Society.
With like the original Jay Garrick.
Yeah, Barry's the Green Lantern.
What?
No. What am I thinking of?
I don't know. Jay Garrick Flash, Alan Scott Green Lantern, Hawkman.
Oh, Alan. That's why. It wasn't Barry. Allen. It was Alan. I knew it was a part of the Flash's name.
You're so funny.
Yeah. Welcome to the Off the Shelf podcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Vinny.
Today we're talking about something. What are we talking about?
Man, so I feel like it's a little soon to do another DC Crisis. But we're doing it anyway.
Man.
Today we're talking about...
So many.
I know. Today we're talking about Identity Crisis. But it's a very different crisis. It's not like a multiversal timeline paradox. This is a character crisis.
It's more introspective.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Who?
For the Justice League.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though, like, the main characters of this book... like Green Arrow, the Atom, and like Hawkman, and especially the Elongated Man. So I just want to put out a disclaimer really quick. This book deals with heavy themes such as like murder and sexual assault. So I'll do my best to censor like what's going on when it happens. I won't get too in depth.
We'll keep it as tasteful as possible.
Yeah. So Identity Crisis is written by Brad Meltzer, who I don't think I've ever talked about before
No,
on
I've
this show.
never heard that name.
Never. He has written this, another Justice League book, and a few other DC books. But he's mostly like a crime novel writer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is like a mystery.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's drawn by Rags Morales.
Have you read any books?
Like novels by him?
Yeah, any of his
No.
crime?
This is like one of the only books I've ever read by him. And it's good. I like this book. It's really weird. But let's get into it.
Yeah.
So
take me through it. Spin me a web of
a narrative.
spin me a narrative.
All right, Josh, tell me every single thing you know about the Elongated Man.
Honestly, I don't even know if you've told me ever.
He came up in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, okay. He's like Mr. Fantastic.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yes, like
But
Plastic
not smart.
Man. Yeah, Plastic Man can like morph his body.
He's like a
into stuff.
shapeshifter.
Yes,
But
Elongated Man just stretches.
Yeah.
And he's also a detective.
Okay.
Like a
So he's kind of smart.
yeah.
He's not like science smart, but he's more
yeah.
intrapersonal
Exactly.
smart.
And him and his wife are like little married detective couple. Like
Okay.
she's not a superhero. She's just a woman. He does the heroics, but she's smart. She helps him with the little mysteries he's solving. And so this book opens with the Elongated Man and this character Firehawk.
That's her right there.
That's her right there.
She looks pretty epic.
Man, she does look epic. And this is the only book I've ever read where she's in it. I've never seen this character before.
Really?
Ever.
So,
But never before this and never after this. Maybe in the background of stuff. But here she has speaking lines. Like she has a part to play in this beginning. She's not really in the rest of the story. But her and Ralph Dibny is the Elongated Man.
Yeah.
And his wife is Sue Dibny. And they're on a stakeout. And
Is this in continuity?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This takes place it came out in like 2000, early 2000s. So Barry Allen is still dead.
It looks like an early 2000s comic.
Yes. So
Got that very specific style.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
Marvel, they all kind of look similar.
I think a big contributor to that is if you notice like all the pages have black outlining. I feel like that was a Todd McFarlane thing back in the 90s. He was like one of the only artists that I feel did that.
And now they all.
And now it's like whoever wants to do
I kind of like it better. It's like having. I
Me
always
too.
put my phone on
Yeah.
dark mode.
It really sets the mood.
Yeah.
So Ralph and Firehawk. That's such a cool
It's
name.
a cool name,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know her real name. I don't know her powers. I imagine it has something to do with fire.
So she's just in this book.
I mean, she's probably not. She probably is in other stuff, but I haven't read it.
Huh.
You know what? Actually, we covered JLA Tower of Babel, and the run. Grant Morrison started that run. That book was written by Mark Waid. But
Yeah.
Before Mark Waid came on, Grant Morrison wrote it, and in the first page of the first issue of Grant Morrison's Justice League, he mentions Firehawk. She doesn't show up. Like, two characters are talking, and they're like, you know that character Firehawk?
So she's been around.
She's
way
been
before
around,
that,
I guess.
though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really see why you don't see her. Is there like a better hero with her same power or something?
I mean, she doesn't really use her powers too much here, so I don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
I
She's
imagine
just some
she
fire.
I imagine she flies and shoots fire.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of characters could do that, but she looks cool.
Visually.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Anyway, so Ralph.
Yeah, we're still on the first page.
Ralph and Firehawk are on a stakeout. These low-level thugs are like dealing crack or something.
I mean, stakeout is kind of a oversimplification, but I don't know. She's on fire on top of it. Like, everyone in the city could see
literally,
her.
they're pretty much just chilling on the building talking.
Yeah.
And Firehawk is like, so how's Sue? And Ralph is like, oh, she's good. You know, it's my birthday today. And every year for my birthday, Sue sets up like this little mystery for me to solve. And I always solve it way before she even finishes it. Like, I already know what it is. But I always play along because I love her, you know?
He's like the world's second greatest detective.
Yeah. And Firehawk the whole time is like, man, I wish I had a boyfriend. I wish I wasn't so lonely.
She's like, I sure hope your girlfriend isn't burnt to a crisp so that I can date you.
So, we pick up with a few characters. Like first it's Ralph and Firehawk, and then you see Superman, or Clark, is with his parents in Smallville. Both his parents are alive, and they're going over the newspaper. Superman and Green Lantern stopped Psycho Pirate.
So is this before? No, never mind.
Crisis?
That's a stupid question. Yeah, this is after, obviously.
Yeah, a lot after.
Yeah.
And Superman's mom is like, she wants a subscription to the Daily Planet, and Superman's like, I'll just pay for it, Mom. Like, and she's like, no, I can pay for it.
He doesn't get it for free. He works there.
I know, right? Or I think maybe he's like, I work there. I can get it for you for free. And she's like, no, it's okay. I don't mind. You know? And then Superman's like, come on, Mom, stop being so stubborn. And then his mom was like, I bet Batman doesn't talk to his parents like this. And Superman's like, That's so funny.
He's like, oh, Batman does. He's over at his parents' graves, like, Mom, stop being so annoying.
Let me pay for this, Mom.
Yeah.
We pick up with Green Arrow and Wildcat, who's a JSA member, and Green Arrow has a son named Connor Hawk, he's also like an archer.
Okay.
And they're just training.
Man, Green Arrow, he's like a family man?
No.
Oh. Okay.
Green Arrow is like very irresponsible. Like, not really, but there's some things in the 70s. He had a sidekick named Speedy, who Green Arrow like went on missions and stuff and just left him alone, and he was like a 14-year-old boy, he didn't have a family or anything. And then Green Arrow comes back and he's like shooting up heroin.
Oh.
It's Green Arrow.
That's pretty dark.
It's very dark, especially back then, where like there's the Comics Code of Authority and like you couldn't talk about drugs or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Green Arrow's trying to be a family man. Trying, maybe failing, depending on who's writing the book. He's an alright dad.
He's like a failed Batman.
Yeah. And so, back to Ralph and Firehawk. Firehawk keeps asking, like, do you have any ideas, like, what she might get you for your birthday? Like, a birthday gift? And Ralph is like, well, one time we went to England and I saw this magnifying glass that I really liked, because he's a nerd, you know. And he's like, I'm pretty sure she's gonna get that for me. And he goes into like, we met when we were 20, like we went to this big party or something, and out of like everyone in the crowd, out of all the handsome dudes in the crowd, she came over to me and talked to me, you know. I'm pretty sure it's like, yeah, Bruce Wayne was there and the Flash was there and everything, and she like came over to me. And then ever since they got married,
I mean, he is elongated, man.
Oh yeah. And then like ever since then, she's like an honorary member of the Justice League. Not
okay.
that she's
just allowed to like hang out.
Oh yeah. She's always allowed to hang out, cook dinner, hang out,
do the chores.
Man, I hope one day we get to see a Justice League like this on the screen, because these guys are chums. Like, they have Thanksgiving together, they celebrate each other's birthdays together. Like, they are a family, and I love that.
So, yeah, Elongated Man kind of takes Plastic Man's place then in the Justice League, or?
They're both on the Justice League.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Yeah, the Justice League is very big.
Okay. They have like different teams, or they
kind
of delegate certain.
Like, if you're a part of the Teen Titans, the JSA, you're all the Justice League. You know, you're all allowed on the Watchtower. You know.
Got it.
So while Ralph and Firehawk are talking, you see that Sue does have the magnifying glass, and her internal monologue is like, he's such a good detective. He knows I already got him the magnifying glass, but he doesn't know what else I'm putting in the box. And so, while she's like preparing the cake and the packet or the present and everything, the stakeout turns insane, right? And the drug dealers start blasting, right? Ralph and Firehawk. They start blasting their guns. Right? It turns into a full-on war, and Ralph and Firehawk get down there. She has like wings, maybe.
I mean, Hawk. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh. I really thought about the fire, not so much the hawk. Yeah. Wow. So
You can usually sum up a hero's powers based on their name in DC.
The elongated man.
Yeah.
You'd never know.
Green Lantern.
The Flash. He's good at photography.
Yeah.
So, elongated man and Firehawk start beating up the drug dealers and everything. And then Ralph gets a phone call. And it's his wife. And his wife is like, Ralph, you gotta come help me, please. So Ralph is like, what? And he fucking gets his way over to the house. But it's too late.
Oh.
His wife has been murdered.
Oh.
And not just murdered. Like, burned by a flamethrower.
Like Firehawk?
Like,
because I predicted that in the beginning.
I know, you said that, and I was like, oh god. No, it wasn't Firehawk,
okay,
obviously.
Yeah.
But she was
with him.
Yeah, she was. She's like incinerated. Not incinerated, but she's burned. She's not okay. And then, like, the magnifying glass is broken.
Did she hold the magnifying glass up to the sun?
Yeah.
And she got burnt like
No, someone broke in and,
yeah.
attacked her.
Was the house on fire, too, or just her?
No.
Huh.
Like, it was specifically her that was burned. And inside the box with the broken magnifying glass was a pregnancy test.
Oh.
And it was positive.
Oh.
Yeah, so, and this image haunts me because he's like elongating his body when he's like crying. So his chin is like, ugh.
It's terrifying.
It is. It's so sad. All the Justice League is called. They have a big funeral. You also get to see Tim Drake. He's still Robin at this time. You get to see his dad and their relationship. So his dad knows he's Robin.
Okay.
Tim doesn't live at the mansion. He lives with his dad.
Because he's still a 15-year-old boy.
Because he's still a 15-year-old boy. And his dad knows he's Robin and doesn't really like it.
Yeah.
He's like, my son's a hero.
Realistically.
And I respect it.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. He's like, I respect that he's a hero, but he's also my son. And that's more important to me. You see the Atom and his ex-wife. They're in like the middle of a divorce or something. I think they're finalizing the divorce.
Yeah, he's signing the papers right there.
Yeah.
He's still in his hero costume.
Exactly. He's like, oh, I gotta give her half my stuff. And so...
I don't know a single thing about the Atom.
Oh, the Atom's this guy, Ray Palmer. He's a scientist.
Is he like Ant-Man?
He's like Ant-Man, but can go way smaller.
Oh, you did tell me about him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He goes like...
Subatomic.
Like, yeah, the size of an atom.
Yeah.
Like, he can go...
Atomic.
So, Adam's with his ex-wife as he's signing the papers. And it's very, like... They both still have feelings for each other. You know, it's like, he's a superhero, so it's dangerous for them to be together. But they still obviously have feelings for one another. And then they get the call that Sue...
So he just doesn't want to put her in danger, or she can't handle it, or...
Like a bit of both.
Okay.
And so they both get the call that Sue
but it's mutual.
was killed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reluctantly mutual. They both get the call that Sue was killed.
Was she, like, friends with everybody, too, or...?
Yeah. Like, Sue and Jean, which is Adam's ex-wife, they were friends. Because they both didn't have superpowers. They were just the wives of...
Yeah.
Exactly. So, at the same time, you get to see, like, everyone's getting the call that Sue is killed. You get to see Mr. Miracle, and the Atom, and the Ray, and Animal Man.
Is that Blue Beetle?
Where?
Right there?
Oh, that's Animal Man.
Oh.
They're all investigating the murder, like the house and everything.
Who's Animal Man?
Animal Man is this really interesting character.
Like Beast Boy?
He doesn't turn into them, but he has like the powers of animals.
Okay.
So he could like fly and like...
So he's like a lamer Beast Boy.
Kind of. It's really interesting. We're going to talk about Animal Man.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of deep, crazy shit with him.
Huh.
He's one of the characters that Grant Morrison was writing for a while. And Grant Morrison got really meta with it. So there's an issue where Animal Man's like, fuck you, Grant Morrison.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So funny. So they're all looking for who could have killed Sue. They have Animal Man to like sniff around for a scent. The Atom's looking for tracks, small like footprints or anything.
Yeah.
They got the Metal Men here, who are different men and women made of metal, trying to see if there's like lead poisoning or whatever.
I mean, she was burnt.
Well,
yeah, very obviously burnt.
Mm-hmm. But they want to know if like how did the guy break in?
Yeah,
because they also mentioned there was like extreme security, because like she is the wife of a Justice Leaguer. They're gonna have like insane security to make sure no one.
They don't just leave their houses unprotected.
Yeah, it's not just a chain and a lock.
Yeah,
they have like
Deadbolt.
Yeah, they have like extreme security measurements. So it's like, how did this person break in?
But not to be like a dick.
Yeah.
But does it really take all the Avengers to like solve this mystery? Like they all gotta show up? That's what I meant.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Well, I mean, no, it doesn't, but they all care.
Yeah.
And here's the funeral. They're all in costume.
That seems a little disrespectful. I don't know.
Yeah, someone makes a point where it's like
they should have changed.
No, I think Ralph was like, she would want us to be in costume because that's how she knows us.
Oh, okay. Also, it's cooler to see all the Justice League
because
members
you'd be like,
costume.
Is that Superman or is that Bruce Wayne or is that just a normal guy with black
regular
hair?
people?
Yeah. Even though I think one of the characters, I think Green Arrow is like, he's like, this feels disrespectful to dress up
to wear bright green
funeral because I feel like all the attention is on us and not on Sue. Like, this is her funeral. And you just get to see all the Justice Leaguers. You see Black Canary. She's bawling. Because her and Sue were great friends. You see Wonder Woman.
So is that Green Arrow's internal monologue?
Yeah.
I like how it's colored differently for each character.
It is. Here it's all different colors.
That's cool.
Like that. Here's Hawkman. And Ralph goes up to say a few words about his wife. And he just breaks down. And it's like, when he starts crying, he can't control his stretchiness. Oh. So he's like holding his jaw to make sure he doesn't droop down. It's so sad.
Yeah.
After this book, like, some really serious things happen with Ralph. It's crazy. This is a sad book.
Yeah.
I should have warned you.
Already is.
Here's Blue Beetle.
Pretty heavy. He looks a lot like Animal Man. I mean, I didn't see Animal Man's full costume.
Yeah, they both have like goggles.
Yeah.
And blue. So, the Justice League, the Teen Titans, the JSA, they all split up to, like, get some leads on who might have killed her. But this little group of characters, which is Green Arrow, Black Canary, Zatanna, Hawkman, and Ralph, they all stay back. And it's kind of shady. They're, like, talking about something very suspiciously. And they're like, are you sure, Ralph? Do you think it was him? And Ralph is like, I know for a fact it's Dr. Light. Dr. Light killed her. And that's like the first issue of this series. So it's already like insanely sad.
Yeah.
Then we pick up with the Atom.
Get into it quick.
Yeah. Then we pick up with the Atom who gives his ex-wife a crossbow. He's like, you need to protect yourself because I can't always be here.
Yeah.
And like,
but like, what's a crossbow gonna do?
I don't know, but at least it's something.
Yeah,
I think he got it from like Hawkman or someone.
So it's like a special god crossbow.
Exactly.
Egyptian.
A little sidebar about Hawkman. I love Hawkman's helmet. I love how he looks.
He's got bird eyes.
I know.
I never noticed. That's cool.
It's insane. So Wally is the Flash right now, and Wally meets up, and Kyle is still Green Lantern. Wally and Kyle meet up with like Green Arrow and Hawkman while they're talking. And Wally's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's Dr. Light? How do you know? And everyone's like really hush-hush about it.
They all know who Dr. Light is?
Yes. And they all know why it might be Dr. Light. So this is another disclaimer for sexual assault that I want to mention.
Mm-hmm.
So Green Arrow, or like all the superheroes, explained to Wally that a few years ago, Sue was bored of like watching TV at home, and she was alone, and decided to go to the watchtower to see the stars. So Dr. Light sneaks aboard the watchtower to steal like an old light gun or something, but
light gun.
Yeah, he has like a light ray.
Is it his?
It's his.
They
took it from him, and he wants
Okay.
and he wants it back. And when he gets up there, he sees Sue all alone.
So a light gun, is that not just like a flashlight?
Well, no, like it hurts you.
Yeah.
And he sees Sue all alone and takes advantage of her. And the internal monologue, or not, it's not internal monologue. It's the characters explaining it to Wally. Ralph is like, she just wanted to see the stars. And it's so heartbreaking. And then the Justice League show up, like, either while it's happening or after, and they grab him, kick the shit out of him.
They don't kill him.
They don't kill him, but they do something else.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. And that's and then after they like subdue Dr. Light, it's just Ralph holding his wife, and all the superheroes like, what do we even do? You know, like, we didn't expect this to ever happen.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Dr. Light portrayed in such a way where he's this much of a villain, you know, like, and not just like,
not just like goofy comic villain,
yeah,
but
like he's this is serious,
bad.
Like, bad person. But again, I'm not going to get too into it.
They make you hate him for sure.
They definitely do. So because of this event, Ralph is like, it's probably him. He maybe wanted revenge or something. And then Wally is like, okay, so let's go get him. And again, like, they go to where they think he's hiding out, and they keep telling more of the story. And I'll just cut to the chase with what actually happened. So after they subdue Dr. Light, like, Superman and Batman and everyone, they all leave, with like Sue and everything. And it's just like Ralph and Hawkman, and like these characters, Ralph, Hawkman, Green Arrow, Black Canary, the ones telling Wally about what happened. And Zatanna can create magic spells by saying words backwards.
Right, yeah. You told me about it. I've never seen her in a book, though.
Yeah, here she is.
Is that her right there?
This is her right here in her old costume.
Huh.
Now she just wears like a top hat, more of like a magician type uniform.
Oh, okay.
And so they decide.
I think I like this better than a top hat.
Really? I dig the top hat.
Really? I mean, I haven't seen it, so maybe it's cool.
I think you'll see it later.
Okay. Oh, it's in this book.
Yeah, this is like a flashback to her old
Yeah.
costume. And so they're talking. They're like, Dr. Light's always been a villain, but we never knew he was this bad. And this isn't just like we could throw him in jail and forget about it. It's like, we need to do something about who he is as a person, but we're not going to kill him. So they wipe his mind. But not just wipe his mind, they wipe a complete, like, the personality trait of, like, wanting to, like, assault women.
Okay. How?
Zatanna is just like
a spell. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these Justice Leaguers, Green Arrow and Hawkman, they never tell Batman. They never tell Superman. They don't tell anyone. Except for, like, who's in the circle.
But, like,
what stays in the Watchtower.
Why give Dr. Light a chance?
I know, right?
You know?
Because most of these guys aren't killers.
I know.
You know?
I know.
Yeah. I know.
Okay. I have a question, and it's...
Yeah.
I know this is a serious book.
Yeah.
But how do people... It's on the moon, right? This base?
Yeah.
The Watchtower? How do the people get up there?
A teleport.
Really?
Teleporters.
Okay. I was going to say, how did non-Superman heroes and regular
They
people
have, like, a little
there?
teleporting station.
Okay. And then just anyone can use it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you have a thing, I guess. I guess Dr. Light stole it from a superhero, maybe. I don't know. They don't really explain how he got on there. Just that he did.
Okay.
So then...
it's not super important. No. I was just curious.
So then we pick up with a group of villains. Villains like Merlin and Mirror Master and Deadshot. And Deathstroke. And they're all in, like, a little room. Almost kind of like their own Watchtower.
Okay.
But it's, like, really shitty. It's, like, held together by duct tape. And they're waiting for, like...
It's on the other side of the moon.
Yeah. the dark side.
Yeah. They're listening to Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah. And Captain Boomerang is here. but he's all old and fat and like decrepit. He's not a good villain anymore. He's like all washed up.
I like his boomerang.
Yeah. And
shirt. What is that? It's like a robe.
Yeah. And they're all here because they're in like a little conference meeting because they're waiting for this character named Noah Cutler, who is the Calculator.
Who's the Calculator?
The Calculator used to be this asshole who used to wear a costume with big buttons on it, but now he's more of like a supervillain phone operator, or more like he gives. That's what I think. He gives you jobs. Like he'll call you. He'll be like,
okay.
Hey, he'll be like, "Hey, Captain Boomerang."
Or like, you know, phone operators don't give people jobs.
Well, I know, but it's more like someone will give Noah something to do, and then he'll relay the information to someone else.
Okay,
but
he's the middleman.
He's the middleman.
Okay,
and he's like, yeah.
Jim Croce calls to talk to him sometimes.
He's like, hey, Deadshot, I got a job for you. It'll pay like $30 million. Do you want it? And Deadshot will be like, yeah, sure. And Captain Boomerang's like, I really want a job. Come on, give me one. And he never gets one
because he's old.
Because he's old and washed up.
Yeah.
So this group of superheroes, like right here. Right, this is the group of superheroes that we'll be following mostly. So get a good look at them.
No Superman or Batman.
Like they're in the
Wonder
book,
Woman,
but they're not the focus. Yeah. So the superheroes all get to the little hideout of the villains. They crash in, and they have a huge fight with the supervillains. Right, Deathstroke, right here.
I've never seen him in a comic either.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks cool.
Oh yeah.
He's got like scales.
I know. I really dig Deathstroke's design. Here's Dr. Light.
Hmm.
And now Dr. Light doesn't remember what he did to Sue. You know, because they wiped his mind.
Yeah.
And the Justice League hit feet. So it's like a Tarantino movie over here. So
the toes are out.
Yeah. This is the autopsy of Sue.
Oh.
Yeah. So the superheroes get into a huge fight with the villains. And it's cool. You know, if you've never seen Deathstroke in action, Brad Meltzer does a great job describing how he is. He's kind of like Captain America in a way. He's like a super soldier, enhanced. He could heal a little bit, and they used to call him Deathstroke the Terminator, because like if you want a job done, you call Deathstroke. Yeah. He's the deadliest man in the world. So Shiva has to take it up with him. Like this part here, it's so cool because it describes how he takes out each member of the Justice League in like a second. Like the Flash, obviously Deathstroke knows that he's not going to be able to hit the Flash, but the Flash is predictable. So he knows where he's going to stop.
Yeah.
So he just like sticks his sword out and stabs Flash in the like shoulder or something while he's running. He like Zatanna's going to say something, and then he punches her in the stomach and makes her vomit, so she can't. Like uncontrollable vomiting.
He's almost like Taskmaster.
Yeah, very much like Taskmaster.
Yeah,
and he just destroys all the heroes. Green Arrow, him and Green Arrow getting into a fight, and he swings the sword, and Green Arrow ducks, and he's like, "Ha, you missed me!" But all his arrows are cut. Like all the, what's that part? The quills.
I don't know. Is that actually what it is?
Maybe.
That's what we're calling it.
Sure, the little feather
feathers,
part.
Yeah.
They're all chopped off. And Green Arrow's like, oh. And Deathstroke just beats the shit out of him and runs away.
That was the job that he took? Yeah.
No, that wasn't the job.
He just did it for fun?
He just did it for fun. Man. But Green Arrow does manage to grab an arrow and stab Deathstroke in his eye. Now, he stabs him in the eye with the eye patch.
So it doesn't really matter. He already's missing the eye.
Yeah, but like he knew like it would still hurt, obviously.
Yeah.
And so when all the superheroes are fighting, they like tackle Deathstroke, and it's very similar to how they tackled Dr. Light that day.
Yeah.
And it kind of jogs Dr. Light's memory. And he kind of remembers what happened that day.
So it's not like they removed the memory. It's like they removed the bridges to the memory.
Yes.
Okay.
And he just needed a little jog. So after Deathstroke gets away, or I think they arrest him maybe, and Superman shows up.
I mean, they had him held down pretty tight. And I imagine he didn't get away.
And so Superman shows up and he's like, he's like the dad. He's like, what happened here? Is someone going to speak up? And they're like, we got to lead that maybe one of the supervillains was hanging out in here. And that's why we came. Like one of the villains that killed Sue. And we think maybe it's Dr. Light. They don't tell him about the mind wiping or anything. It's kind of...
Why not? Like, is Superman...
Because Superman's going to be like, that's unethical.
Is it?
I mean, he is a terrible person. But, like, I don't know. That's what they think.
It's not like they killed him.
I know.
Or, like, removed crucial memories from his mind. They just wiped out... Okay, I don't know if I totally understand.
Okay,
that.
You know what? I think there's another reason why they don't mention it to anyone outside, and we'll get to that in a little while.
Oh, okay.
Because, we'll get to it.
Okay.
But we do talk about, or not we, but like I will tell you about what Green Arrow tells Wally.
Yeah.
Green Arrow's like, or Wally's like, was this your first idea to just wipe his mind, like just immediately? And Green Arrow's like, well, like, maybe it's not the first time we've done it.
Okay.
So there's like this, I'm pretty sure this is an actual really old Justice League story from like the 50s or 60s where the supervillains find out the identities of the Justice League. And then they like take pictures of like Bruce Wayne's face with the Batman costume or something. And Green Arrow's like, yeah, after we defeated the villains, we mind wiped them to forget the identities. Like, when we have a really big problem, sometimes we'll mind wipe.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing, but, like, it works. And characters like Green Arrow and Hawkman. Like, Hawkman is like, no, we shouldn't do this. And Green Arrow's like, but it's for the greater good. And they're always... Hawkman and Green Arrow are always at, like, each other's throats. And Wally is like, I thought it was just because of different political beliefs. Because, like, Oliver Queen, or Green Arrow, is like he's like a leftist, you know? And then Hawkman is not. So, occasionally... He's a rightist. So, every now and again, they'll get into bickering matches. And Wally's like, I thought it was, like, because of politics, you didn't like each other. And Green Arrow's like, it's all politics. Here's Noah Cutler. I'll show you. Here he is. He's just like a guy in glasses. Looks like he's eating a...
Who is that?
The calculator.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
And Captain Boomerang keeps calling him. He's like, please give me something. And now Captain Boomerang's actually a big part of this book, which is weird. Because, so, we established, like, the Atom's ex-wife. And Tim Drake and his dad. And Ralph and Sue. But now we're establishing that Captain Boomerang has a son. And he was never there for him. He had a kid with this character, Golden Glider, who's another Flash villain.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
And he's like a deadbeat dad who wants to be in his son's life. Like, he's like, I'm a criminal, but I'll stop being a criminal if I could be with my son. I just don't know how to do it. He's like 20. You know, he's like an adult man. So
is that not Deadshot's deal, too?
Kind of.
But with his daughter?
It's more like...
Or is that just in the movie?
No, it's like that, but it's more like Deadshot can't be with his daughter because he's always in jail.
Oh.
And Captain Boomerang just doesn't know how to be a dad.
Yeah.
But while he's like sitting outside of his son's apartment building, like in his car sweating, he's like, okay, I gotta go up to the door, I gotta, what do I say? His son walks out and sees him in the car. And he's like, are you Captain Boomerang? And he's like, yeah. He's like, are you my dad? It's like, what do you know? He's like, because you're on the news.
We look the same.
And my mom told me about you.
I'm really good at throwing boomerangs.
And then his son's like, I'm also good at throwing
boomerangs.
Oh, really? And then his son gets in the car and they like hang out and throw boomerangs together and they go to a park.
Really?
They have a little bonding moment.
That's cute.
Meanwhile, Tim, he gets home after like a night out with Batman, and he has like black and blues on his face, black eye, and his dad.
What did Batman do to him?
I know, right? Beat him up, fed him rats, and his dad Jack sees him and is like, "Are you wearing makeup to cover up the black eye?" And I love it because Tim is like, "Man, I got the makeup on. My dad's never gonna know." And then his dad's like, "I can totally see it." And his dad's like, throwing a fit. He's like, "This is why I don't want you to do this. What if one day, like, you go out and you don't come back? I already lost your mother. I can't lose you too." And then we pick up with the Addams ex-wife, right? And before you even see her, you see like signs of a struggle going on, like broken mug, phone being thrown against the wall, chairs being thrown, and then you see she's being hanged. Like whoever killed Sue's not done, and they're going after other loved ones of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And
so whoever it is knows their secret identities. Yeah.
So it's like maybe it's a villain from like the old days where they found out the identities.
Yeah.
Maybe the mind wiping, like if it faded off Dr. Light,
then they could remember too.
And so Adam's on the phone with her when she's like being attacked and hanged, and he goes like atomic and jumps through the phone.
Okay.
Like through the phone lines and everything, and gets to her house.
So, okay. So it was like a landline?
I guess, yeah. Yeah, it was the house phone.
Okay.
And he gets her just in time to save her. But she's like unconscious, she's bleeding. And now Adam is like, what the hell? Like, why aren't they coming after us? Why are they coming after our loved ones? Like, they can't fight back. And I mean, that's the reason why. Because they can't fight back. But now this means like Superman's parents, Lois, maybe Alfred, Tim Drake's dad.
Yeah.
No one is safe. Wonder Woman goes to... Who does she go to? I think it is Dr. Light.
In jail?
In jail. Yeah, Wonder Woman goes to Dr. Light and uses the lasso on him to like see if he killed Sue, and he says no. So, Dr. Light didn't do it.
But they always tell the truth with the lasso?
Yeah.
Like, no matter what?
No matter what.
Okay.
You have to tell the truth. It compels you to do it. It's different all the time. Sometimes it's magic. Sometimes it's a type of, like, heating. Like a fiery sensation that, like, hits your nerves or something. I don't know.
Like if you lie?
Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe it just hurts so bad that you're just like, okay.
She can feel their heartbeat through the wire.
Yeah. Here's Captain Boomerang and his dad hanging out. Batman and Alfred. I feel like this is the first time you've seen Batman in this book. Definitely not. He showed
was
up
at the funeral.
He was at the funeral.
But he hasn't had
this is like his first part. Yeah. And he's just talking to Alfred about there's like this coincidence that like all the villains that they fought, like Deathstroke and Captain Boomerang and Dr. Light, they were all in the Suicide Squad. So now Batman's like, is it Amanda Waller? Like, is she doing this? Why would she do this? It doesn't make sense. It's just a coincidence. Because, like, if you're a villain who's not the Joker or Lex Luthor, you've probably been on the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. The Joker's never been on?
No. He's too crazy.
I guess, yeah. Can't control him.
Exactly. This is such a sad image. That's Ralph on the couch, crying. And then so, now we've talked about Hal Jordan going crazy and killing the Green Lanterns, and Kyle Rayner being Green Lantern. But I don't know if we've ever talked about what happens to Hal Jordan after.
We did a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you remember anything?
He becomes good again.
Yes.
And then he takes another bad spirit into his body.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
He becomes the Spectre.
The Spectre, yeah.
The Spectre's a good spirit.
Oh.
Is the spirit of vengeance. God's agent of vengeance. He's like, if someone gets murdered, the Spectre will get justice for that person and damn the killer to hell or something.
Okay.
So
are there books about
the Spectre?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So Hal Jordan is now the Spectre, and he has kind of like a window into the dead. Like he could see dead people and talk to them.
Okay.
So Green Arrow is like, hey, can you tell us who killed Sue?
Yeah, if she was murdered, shouldn't he be going after him anyway?
Exactly. And Green Arrow, or Green Lantern, or Spectre, Hal Jordan,
yeah.
is like, if I told you, like, the book would end, and I can't, I'm sorry.
yeah.
It's a mystery book. There's a few more parts to this series.
Yeah.
And then Green Arrow's like, fuck you. Like, come on. It's more like...
But does he know?
He does.
Oh, okay.
He's like...
So he's just an asshole?
Yeah, it's not like he wants to.
He's not
but
withholding the information.
The spirit is like making him not be able to.
Oh, okay.
Like the Spectre.
But for what reason?
Because I don't even know. Because it would end the book. That's the real answer.
Okay, yeah.
And my favorite part about this, because Green Arrow and Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, they're chums. They had a series in the 70s, Green Arrow, Green Lantern. Or Green Lantern, Green Arrow. And in that series, that's where Green Arrow's sidekick does heroin.
Oh, okay.
So for a while, they were like best chums. And after Hal went crazy and then died and became the Spectre, Green Arrow misses him. So there's like this scene where Green Arrow is like, so when are you coming back to life? And Hal Jordan's like, I'm working on it. I think it's so fun.
And then they smooch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lois, she gets a letter. And it says, I know who your husband is. And the S in husband is the Superman logo. Mm. So now Lois is on the chopping block. The rest of the superheroes catch up to some other villains. And these are all like all the same villains that got away the first time they like broke into their safe house. So like Deadshot, Merlin.
So I have a question about Deadshot really quick.
Yes.
If he's missing an eye, why does he have like a lens?
He's not missing an eye. That's Deathstroke. Deadshot just has like a little laser sight.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, you're right. Is that... Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. I thought they were the same character.
It's alright. They're very similar.
Man.
If Deathstroke is the deadliest man in the world, Deadshot is the second deadliest man in the world.
Got it. Yeah.
All the superheroes once again split up into their teams and go like track down villains who again might be responsible for the deaths. And you get to see like,
whoa, Cyborg?
Yeah, the Teen Titans go and interrogate someone. The Outsiders, which is like a covert team led by Nightwing, is interrogating Black Tarantula. Here's Firehawk again, interrogating Heatwave and Blue Beetle. The JSA interrogating Mirror Master. And then you get like this little group of Firestorm, Shining Knight, and Vixen, who are fighting like Deathstroke and other characters in the park. I probably said some names that you don't recognize.
Yeah, just a couple.
Okay, so Vixen is like Animal Man and Beast Boy. Animal powers.
Okay, he's one of Santa's 8 little reindeer.
Yes. Yeah. It's a girl. She's a girl.
Oh, sorry.
And Shining Knight is like a knight from King Arthur times.
Actually from...
I mean, he sure looks like it.
So what is it, time travel or...
I really don't know.
Okay.
But you get to see all the supervillains, or all this group of superheroes fighting random supervillains. There's this character Shade. He's a guy who morphs into shadows and moves in the shadows. He steals Shining Knight's sword and stabs Firestorm. And Firestorm is like living energy. So when there's a breach, he's gonna explode. And again, it's so sad. Because Firestorm's like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna blow up. Like, there's nothing...
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all it takes?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe it's an enchanted sword.
Is Firestorm, like, Human Torch kind of powers?
He can, like... He shoots, like, elements, or he could, like, mix elements or something. He shoots...
So it's not just fire?
No.
Okay.
Even though it comes out of his head, it's the most... used one, I guess.
Yeah, it's like his strongest one.
Yeah, but he's mostly like nuclear energy.
Oh, okay.
And so he gets stabbed, and there's a breach in his tummy, and he looks down and he starts crying, and he's like, I'm gonna blow up. And he just flies up in the air and explodes. And all the superheroes are like, you get Shazam here.
Did this come out around the same time as Avengers Disassembled?
I feel like it did.
It's got a similar...
It
I mean,
really
this is definitely much heavier.
Yeah.
But...
I definitely think so, actually. Now that you say that. 2003, I think, 2002, like around that time.
Yeah.
The Atom and his wife, they end up like smooching, because he's like, I'm not leaving your side. I'm gonna protect you because I love you.
Aw.
And they end up smooching and they have sex, and they like get back together a little bit. You get to see Captain Boomerang and his son shooting or throwing boomerangs together.
Just at the park.
Just at the park. It's so cute. And then you get another moment with Tim and his dad, and there's like some situation going on that Batman needs Tim for, and Tim is like, I gotta go, Dad. And his dad's like, can you just stay? Like, can you, like, there's a lot going on right now, you know, because like you're attached to the superhero community. I know about the murders and everything. Like, I love you, and I don't want you to die. And Tim is like, but I need to go, you know, and then Jack is like, I'm so proud of you. Just go, but make sure you come back.
Uh-huh.
And then as soon as Tim leaves, there's a package like sitting on the table of the house, of the kitchen, and Jack opens it, and in the package there's a gun and a letter that says protect yourself. So Jack is like, okay, I'm going to grab the gun and I'm going to call my son back. He can't be too far. I think it's a little while after Tim left. And he calls his son. He's like, Tim, I need you over here right now. I think someone's in my house. As you see, like, someone crawling into Jack's house. You see more of the autopsy. And
it's Batman.
It's
crawling into his house.
Yeah.
No more distractions for Tim.
And so Tim gets the call while he's in the Batmobile. And he's like, Batman, we gotta go. We gotta go to my dad's house. Or my house. And Batman's like driving like 500 miles down the street. And Tim's like, we're not gonna make it in time. Like, my dad's gonna die. And Batman's like, no, he's not. Like, every Robin has, like, he's not gonna die. We'll get there. And Jack is like holding the gun and he's waiting, and then the door gets kicked down, and it's Captain Boomerang, because Captain Boomerang got a job offer.
Oh.
To kill Jack Drake. And so I love this image where he's just like, just jumping out, and he has the boomerang in hand.
Yeah. It's so sharp.
And yeah, it is. And they both, like, Jack sees them and shoots Captain Boomerang, killing Captain Boomerang.
Oh.
But Captain Boomerang throws the boomerang, and they kill each other. So Jack Drake does die.
So Captain Boomerang doesn't know that that's Robin's dad.
No.
He just got a job.
Yes.
And he hasn't had a job in a while.
Exactly. So he took whatever he could. So Robin gets back and his dad's just in a pool of blood. And again, it's heartbreaking. This image of Batman holding Robin while he's like crying over his dead dad gives me nightmares. Like, it's so sad.
It's chilling.
It is chilling.
Yeah.
And dead Captain Boomerang back there. This book is like insane.
Yeah.
And then, like, the day after the death of of Robin's dad and Captain Boomerang, the superheroes are like, no superhero today. Like, we're gonna stay with our wives and our families. So there's like no Wonder Woman, no Superman, no Batman today, and like Superman's with Lois and I guess his parents, and Batman has like this moment where he remembers when he lost his parents and when Dick lost his parents, and then he's just looking at Tim, and he's like, "Wow, I failed again." Like, I mean, it you know, not like it was his fault, you know, because he was driving as fast as he could.
I mean, neither was Dick's parents or his
parents.
No,
but it's like Bruce was there maybe when the Flying Graysons fell.
Yeah.
You know, like, I guess it's just like...
He didn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah.
Well, also...
I mean, I guess it depends on the continuity if he was there or not.
He's been, like, preparing Tim a lot more than the others, too.
Yeah.
Like, trying to prevent this exact kind of situation.
And he was like, you're such a different Robin. Like, you have a family, or at least a dad. And, like, That's what I wanted. Because I take in the kids who don't have anything. But you have a lot. So and just this look on Bruce's face is like great. Like another kid lost like the most important thing to him. You get to see like this moment where Aquaman and Martian Manhunter are looking at the stars, and Aquaman had a son once, and his son was killed by Black Manta. So he's thinking of his son, and then Martian Manhunter's thinking of his family on Mars who died. And you get like Wonder Woman and the Flash, like everyone who's lost someone.
Yeah.
This is probably the saddest part. No, it's not. But Captain Boomerang's son is at his dad's grave with the newspaper. And he's like, "You made front page, Dad." And they blame Captain Boomerang for the murder of Sue Dibney. But it wasn't him. And then probably the biggest bomb is dropped. Not literally.
Yeah.
But of the story. And more pieces to the mind wiping of Dr. Light. And so what really happened is they wipe Dr. Light's mind. And after they do it, or like in the middle of doing it, Batman enters the Watchtower and he sees them mind wiping Dr. Light. And Batman's like, "What are you doing?" And Batman starts charging at them, and Zatanna mind wipes Batman. To forget about the whole thing.
Okay,
so that's why. That's why, because Yeah.
But why would Batman have an issue with it?
Because Batman's the most, like, that's unethical, you can't do it, he's a human being, I really don't kill people, and you're, like, killing his mind. Whatever. Yeah. But they mind wipe Batman. And Wally is like, "You don't do that. You can't mind wipe Batman. What if he found out?" And later in the book, there's a scene where Wally...
He knows how to kill all of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this will spin out into another story called the OMAC Project, where Batman does find out that they wiped his mind. And because of that, he makes a satellite that watches all superhuman life and keeps tabs on them. And then it gets into the hands of a supervillain, of course.
Of course.
And it goes real bad.
All of his protective measures do, I guess.
Of course. So then, back at the like autopsy room, they're looking at the like her Sue Dibney's like brain and stuff, and they see little footprints on her brain that caused hemorrhaging.
Footprints?
Little microscopic footprints. Huh. And they call Batman. Like and Batman's like, "Oh shit. Is it the Atom?"
Huh. It's not. Is it?
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
So now we pick up with the Atom and his ex-wife. And they're like getting into bed, and Adam's got like this really sinister look on his face. Yeah. And then like that's the end of the issue. And it's like, oh my god, is the Atom gonna kill her? No. So Batman's like, "We gotta get to the Atom. We gotta kill him. Like we gotta beat him up.
Yeah. Erase his mind.
Erase his mind." Yeah. And the Atom is talking to his ex-wife. And now I should mention like the death of Jack Drake everyone knows Jack Drake died, but they didn't say how. They didn't say that he got a letter or a gun or anything. They probably were just like, "Yeah, he had a heart attack or something." You know, probably to not connect that Jack Drake is tied to the superheroes in some way.
Yeah.
And so the Atom,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and so the Atom and his ex-wife are now laying in bed talking, and his ex-wife is like, "Yeah, like I'm so happy you're here because like it's really crazy right now. You know, I heard Lois got a letter, and after like Jack Drake got his letter and died, like." I'm really scared. And then Ray is like, or Adam. Adam is like, "Yeah, that is weird."
Who's Ray?
Yeah.
What was that?
Ray is the Atom. That's his real name.
Oh, okay.
ATOM. So Ray / the Atom is like, "Yeah, that is really weird." And then he thinks about it for a second. And he turns the light on. and he realizes that he didn't tell his ex-wife about the letter. And then he's like, how do you know about that? And she's like, what do you mean? So it turns out that Adam's ex-wife killed Sudibny. And here's how. She, I guess in the divorce, you get...
She took his superpower, half of his
superpower, half of his costume, and jumped in her brain.
Wait, is his costume his power?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
he is like Ant-Man.
Yes.
He needs the suit. Okay.
So...
Oh, that's bad.
She took a costume, she killed her, and then burned her with a flamethrower. And now here's my problem with this. She's like, I didn't mean to kill her, but she brought a flamethrower.
Yeah. What is that?
And she jumped in her brain.
You don't jump into someone's brain without intentions of harming.
And the reason for her doing this is like, she's insane, right? She's totally lost her marbles. Because, I mean, I don't really know, like, why she's insane.
But what?
It's more like she loves Adam, or she loves Ray, and she misses him, and she knew that like the only way for them to be together or to feel like the old days is to make sure that like he would be there to protect her. So she created this scheme.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like one of those things where you're thinking about a plan and you just dive into madness. You're just like, yeah, this could work. Huh? Maybe this now. Let me kill her. Like, it doesn't make sense, but I guess in her twisted brain,
it kind of
does.
Okay.
Because, like, I don't really know about his ex-wife. I don't know if she actually has mental problems or they just made it up for this.
So she couldn't have come up with a different way to do it.
I guess not.
Huh.
It's a really weird twist.
But she didn't kill anyone else.
No.
Right?
But I think she was the one that called Calculator to give Captain Boomerang a job. But then she was like, I didn't think Captain Boomerang would kill him.
Rough him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And so Adam is, shirtless and screaming at her. Mm-hmm. She's like, "You're insane!" And they lock her up in Arkham Asylum.
I mean,
where she belongs to be. And this book has like one of the saddest endings. Like, in case you couldn't tell from the rest of this book, not only is the Atom just like, well,
you can keep going.
Okay. Like, not only is the Atom like, my wife is crazy and killed my best friends, or like one of my best friend's wives, but also like Batman's sidekick's dad, and went after like Lois Lane and like all these other people. Like, I didn't know she was this crazy.
Yeah. None of us did. I didn't even know she existed.
And like Tim lost his dad, and like Ralph obviously got the worst part. I mean, like Tim and everyone, but like Ralph was like, that was the first incident with his wife, and you get to see like Wally and Green Arrow talking again, and like being a superhero. At first, it always seems cool. Yeah. But there's like horrifying repercussions of this. You get to see like side by side of like the old days when they first started the Justice League and how different it is now. Like, Barry's dead, Hal is dead, Superman died once. Like, things change, and it's always scary, but especially when they go after like your loved ones. And then the last part of this book, I think, is so sad, and it's Ralph, and he's in his house getting ready for bed, and he's just talking about his day to his wife, and he's like looking in the mirror, and he lays in bed, and he turns off his lamp, and he stretches his arm, turns off her lamp, and is like, "Good night, I love you." And that's the end of the book. Oh, it's so sad.
That is sad.
It is such a sad book.
But it seems very well written.
It is. Like, I know a lot of people have a problem with, like, the assault and everything, and I understand. Because it does kind of feel a little out of place. Especially for Dr. Light. You know?
Yeah,
he never
I
really
don't know
struck
if
me as a character that would do that.
If the choice of Dr. Light was the best. But for what it is as a story, I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah. I like
you don't
that it...
see a lot of comic books like this.
I know.
Because there's no action.
There really...
I mean, there is.
You have moments.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Firestorm died? I forgot about that.
But usually you don't get to dive into, like, the personal parts of the superhero life, which is... It's cool to see that.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's very different, and especially for a crisis.
Yeah.
You know? Because this is like a character crisis. Personal crisis.
But it's also a crisis for the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's characters that are tied to the team in some way. And I think it's a very unique idea.
Yeah.
Especially for the time. Like now, recently there was another book called Heroes in Crisis, which is another personal crisis, but I don't like it.
Okay.
It's not good. Maybe we'll talk about it one day. But this is like, it really packs a punch. Like you read it and you might cry.
Mm.
You know? For me, it's the Tim and his dad stuff.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, wow, that's really sad. And also Sue and Ralph. Like that's, it's so terrible. Because like, she didn't deserve that.
Well, no.
Well, no. She's also a fictional character.
Yeah,
but like,
but still, it's they do a good job of making you feel for the characters.
Definitely. And after this, there'll be another crisis, Infinite Crisis.
Crisis on Infinite.
Yes. And
those are their two favorite words.
Yeah, literally. There's another recent book that just came out. There's another recent event called Infinite Frontier.
They're just mixing the titles, man.
But so after Infinite Crisis, there was a series called 52, where Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman were like taken off the table, not like killed or anything. They were just over there, and it focused on Booster Gold and like C-list characters. So like each issue for 52 weeks. That's why it was called 52. Booster Gold would hang out with like Steel or Black Adam or Animal Man or the Elongated Man. And I haven't read it in a long time, but I remember like Ralph's whole deal in that book was like he's suicidal, and I think he buys a gun.
And that's post this book? Okay.
And he's going to kill himself.
Oh.
And at the same time, Booster Gold is going through a similar situation. Yeah, you can look through it. Booster Gold is going through a similar situation because, and spoilers, after this book, Batman makes that satellite that monitors all the superhumans. And then Maxwell Lord, who's like the Justice League's PR agent for a little while, he gets like mind-controlling powers and becomes evil and takes over the satellite. And turns it into like an Ultron situation where there's like robots that are raining down from the sky.
Okay.
And Booster Gold, or Blue Beetle, finds out that Maxwell Lord's behind it and goes to Maxwell Lord. And when Maxwell Lord was the PR agent for the Justice League, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle were on that team. So they were like friends. And now all of a sudden Maxwell Lord is a villain. And so Blue Beetle is like, what are you doing? Like, I'm gonna tell Superman on you. And Maxwell Lord kills Blue Beetle.
Oh.
He shoots him in the head.
Huh.
And Booster Gold takes it the hardest. And what he does is, like, he completely shuts down. Like, he shuts down his emotions.
Because they were teammates.
They were, like, best chums. And he completely, like, forgets about the idea of superheroing. And is just like, I'll be a mascot. I'll put like stickers of like Coca-Cola and like Nike on my costume. I'll sell out. Like, I mean, after all,
like a NASCAR driver.
Yeah, because like after all, I got these superpowers. I could at least make a few bucks on it.
Yeah.
And there's other characters like Ralph and like Fire and Ice who are like, you are hurting, man. Like you're going through it, and you can't hide it with like money and merchandise. And I think he saves Ralph from killing himself. But I also think, and I might be making this up, I can't remember, I think Ralph shoots himself but the bullets bounce.
Oh.
But I don't remember if that's in that book or something else.
Is he, like, bullet resistant then?
Maybe. He might be.
Huh. Man, this is such an interesting book.
I know.
So what would you give it? What would you rate it?
Man, I'd give it a solid Kate 8 out of Ben 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Why a Kate 8?
Mostly because I can't think of something that rhymes with 9.
Okay.
I'd really give it like a 9.
Not a
maybe a Kate 8.5.
Yeah.
I really like it.
What's the setback? What keeps you from giving it a Kevin Levin?
I think the Adam's wife being the killer. I think it's
I was thinking that too.
Even though it kind of's like, there's like, I guess it makes sense because she knows their identity, she knows everything about them, but the motive I think is kind of weak.
Yeah, it seems more like a like it's in there for shock.
Yeah.
Right? Like no one's gonna expect his wife to be the murderer.
I know.
And you don't. So
and then it is
right,
so it's like, whoa.
But at the same time, I don't know. Could it have been better if it was
the Adam?
I don't know.
That would have been kind of crazy.
Yeah, because I don't think. I mean, I don't know a lot about the Adam, but I don't know if that's in his character.
Not really. It's like, what's his motive to do that?
This is a really cool picture of Batman.
Batman, yeah.
I like the lighting.
I think the art is really great in this book.
The art is fantastic.
Yeah, Rags Morales, man.
Looks
he
really
knows what he's
good.
doing. This is the only book that I've read by Rags Morales where he draws it. Maybe not, but I don't know.
Just that you can think of.
Yeah. But I'd like to see him do more stuff. I like his art a lot.
It is neat. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Off the Shelf podcast. We really enjoyed having you here with us, listening to our voices in your ears. Is that a thing I do? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. We'll figure out the ending someday.
Yeah.
Check out more episodes. We got them on Spotify and YouTube, which you probably know by now, but...
Yeah, you're watching on something.
Yeah.
You're listening on something.
Yeah. Check out Vinny's TikTok if you want, if you're interested.
It's Bean Off the Shelf. I post like daily or every other day content related to comic stuff.
How do you spell it?
BEAN.
Is there an
underscore off the shelf?
So follow Vinny on TikTok if you want to. He talks about comics. He does a bunch of videos.
Let us know what you think about Identity Crisis.
Tell us down in the comments if you're on YouTube.
What crisis should we do next? Don't say Heroes in Crisis because I'll throw a fit.
We probably will anyway.
I know. I have it slated.
Oh boy.